Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another... Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another adventure of the Real Comic Heroes podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Patrick. I think we're here for a little indie movie. Personally financed by a certain George Lucas.
Bum, 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 ba-da, bum, ba-ba.
I thought it was da-da-da-da-da-da.
No, you're thinking of...
Is that another guy named George Lucas?
That's right. We are here for Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. Also our ode to Police Academy's sound effect master.
Yeah.
Who incidentally was in Spaceballs. Done.
Okay. You're getting them out of the way much quicker. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I think everyone enjoys that ahead of time rather than waiting for it, constantly wondering when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Dreading it.
Get their shots in early.
Yeah. So, I enjoyed the recap to let us know what went on between the first one and this one.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I remembered realizing how much happened in between.
Okay.
Because I saw them so far apart.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I didn't binge watch and boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So there was probably like a good year between.
Yeah. Well, it's 3 years, you mean between?
When I watched it.
Gotcha.
I mean, I wasn't even born when this came out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. When was the last time you watched it?
Other than last night, probably around 2008.
Wow.
2009, somewhere around there.
Okay.
I think the newer Star Wars sort of made me not want to watch Star Wars a little bit.
Okay.
Like, I was just more focused on the new ones.
Sure.
Than I was on the old ones because I was like, oh, well, I've already seen them. So.
Yeah.
And 2008 was right in the heat of the moment with the remakes, right?
That would have been after Revenge of the Sith was 2005. What? Yeah. Yeah, we're already like 11 years.
That does not seem like it. Oh.
Revenge of the Sith, so.
Freaking old balls.
Yeah.
Man.
I think your gray bush is showing.
Oh. That sickens me. Thanks for ruining my day.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, I guess that makes sense because Natalie Portman was kind of youngish.
Yeah. I mean, probably early 20s.
Still inappropriate for Anakin, but still.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Freaking went after his babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. That was so creepy. So, when was the last time you watched? And you probably watched every one of them in a row.
I mean, pretty much.
Was it the last time we had a Star Wars episode?
I watched all of them with my niece less than a year ago. I think she was in preparation for Force Awakens. I think we watched we watched Star Wars, and then watched I think the first half of Empire, and then she kind of fell asleep, and then I revisited it, a week or two later, because I'm OCD enough that if I start it, I need to finish it,
Yeah.
So I finished watching. So it's been within the year.
Gotcha.
So, and that's pretty typical. I'll tend to watch the original trilogy once a year, generally. So.
Well, I could see her falling asleep because this one's got a lot more character.
Yeah. And it was like later on, later in the evening. So it was like,
because I mean, you get battle action right up front. So.
Yeah.
And basically, I just had to make sure my daughter knew when Chewbacca was on screen and when Yoda was on screen.
Yeah.
She could care less about the humans.
Sure. Well, that's appropriate.
And then Darth Vader, she just goes, "Boo, bad guy."
That's great.
He's just misunderstood, honey.
Yeah.
He was an angsty teenager that never grew up.
Yeah. In his soft, fleshy center, he's just a moody teenager.
Ooh. Gross. Never say
dig
that
through
again.
Gotta dig through all the burnt husk to get to it, but,
I don't want to know about his gooey teenager. Oh, this got off the rails in record time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. 1980s Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
Episode 5. Technically 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows anymore?
Yeah.
Does it really even matter?
I mean, not really.
I mean, it's obvious to anyone that's into Star Wars the order of the story.
Yeah.
But
you still get a lot of people, even with Force Awakens. So when does this take place?
That's crazy to me.
People that I think it's worse with Rogue One. Because I think people assume Rogue One is a sequel to Force Awakens because it came out a year afterward. It was coming out.
And I could see that because there's a Death Star in both the Awakens and in New Hope.
Yeah, and it seems like it should be obvious. Like, no, this is taking place before Star Wars.
Well, if they wanted to make it obvious, give everyone in that movie 70s haircuts.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Or title it, episode half. Or wait, episode 3.5.
Yeah, I was about to say. So, it doesn't matter what episode it is. Yeah. It's like it's a standalone movie, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like talking about the same storyline other than, sort of... I mean, I guess it is, but it's not talking about the same characters.
Sure.
It's sort of giving them, what is it, the information that R2-D2 has?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about getting the plans for the Death Star.
So just call it the R2-D2 prequel or something. I don't know.
R2 got his groove back?
Oh, that's good. That's good and awful at the same time.
Yeah. The numbering didn't come in until this movie was written. Lee Brackett, she was the original writer of Empire, and she just came up with the idea of calling it Episode 5. I guess maybe it started off Episode 2, but then I guess George Lucas liked the idea of it, and then that's when he kind of retconned Star Wars. And then from 81, I think, on, when it would show in theaters, they added the Episode 4, A New Hope.
Weird.
Yeah. That's why I never really got on board with all the people that are like, no, it's called Star Wars. I call it Star Wars. It's like, well, it's been A New Hope for a long time. It's not like they came up with that in the 90s with the special edition,
But that leads me to something I cannot stand about Star Wars is the constant tweaking.
Yeah.
It is just notoriously tweaked to no end.
Yeah. I think we're going to get away from that. I mean, now that Disney owns it, and I can't imagine them going back through it and doing anything else.
Yeah, Spielberg and Lucas both. Spielberg with E.T. and the walkie-talkies instead of guns drives me nuts every time I see it.
I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid.
Oh, you're missing out.
I don't know which version of it I saw.
Well, now it's back to the guns.
Is it?
And the digital copy I have has the guns in it, and it makes a lot more sense.
Sure.
Because they're not awkwardly holding walkie-talkies like guns.
How big those walkie-talkies must be.
It was just their one hand's holding the walkie-talkie where they would have been holding the pump action, and their other hand's just floating in space because they don't have anything. But they're.
I thought they tried to make a walkie-talkie the size of a gun and make it.
Well, I mean, it's still pretty big. It's probably the size of our microphone.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, it drives me nuts. And then freaking the last one we watched, New Hope with Chaba and his tail getting stepped on. I mean,
that drives me nuts. I wouldn't hate it if they fixed that or the Han shot first thing, just because the jump cut is so bad.
Yeah,
just clean it up. They could do it now all digitally, and I think it would look pretty real. Although it'd be hard to create it digitally and match that 70s film stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be hard to make it look older, I think.
But yeah. I mean, And there's probably a filter for that, right?
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think is annoying is that it's just in Lucas's nature, and now that everything's high definition, he started freaking out. Maybe I don't know what it was, but it seemed like whenever we started getting higher definition is when, or computer graphics, he was like, "Well, I want my movie to look better now." Like he didn't want it to age.
Yeah,
and I don't get why you wouldn't want something.
It's like plastic surgery.
Yeah,
you know?
Oh, that is a great analogy. He is basically what's his face? That's gonna drive me nuts. He's from Sin City.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Marv.
So George Lucas is the Mickey Rourke of film editing.
Yeah.
Or remastering, whatever you want to call it.
Nip-tucking this bastard for 30 plus years.
Oh, that's great. I love that analogy.
Nice.
Okay, so
maybe let's talk about some Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. I was surprised at how many people were still left in the Empire. Like,
well, yeah, I mean,
that Death Star was a planet.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are out there. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've always heard, the kind of running joke is that Luke is a bigger mass murderer than, the Empire, because he killed, essentially he killed everyone that was on the Death Star,
Well, they killed the planet.
Yeah, that's true. So,
at least this was war related. They just randomly got the shit out of something.
But I mean,
how dare you take the Empire's side? Your true colors.
I'm not. I swear.
Oh, that's why you're wearing a Death Star
Rebellion
shirt.
forever. Oh shit.
That's why.
What was I gonna say?
Luke was a mass murderer.
Oh yeah. No, I think this is basically just, as far as the Death Star goes, it was just one of their. It'd be like if you took out an aircraft carrier, on a larger scale.
Yeah.
But it's not going to cripple the Empire, and it's not going to take out. It's not like he took out 75% of their fleet and their manpower.
Yeah.
They've got plenty more Empire.
I think the thing that's hard for me to wrap my head around is that it is a galaxy war. Like, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's on a ginormous scale.
Sure.
So yeah, you take out a couple planets, it's going to hurt, but it's not going to cripple. So I guess I got to think of it that way.
Yeah.
I just was thinking, man, they destroyed an entire planet and they still got hundreds of thousands of soldiers left.
It'll be interesting to see in the follow-up to Force Awakens after taking out Starkiller Base, what that does to their numbers. Because I don't know how big the First Order is. It's kind of a similar case. Like, will they be... Did that, take out half of their numbers? Did that take out... Was that just a tiny, loss to them? I don't know. But...
Yeah, I mean, it's probably... The First Order sounds a little bit smaller than what the Empire was.
Yeah.
So it probably at least cut them in half, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's hard to say because you don't know how many people are in the shadows.
Yeah.
Because they're a small organization, so it could be tiny little factions all over the place. Maybe there's a second order and a third order. Who knows?
Yeah. Shit, we keep getting off on Star Wars or Force Awakens. That's my fault. The opening to this, to Empire, is, I think, one of the best. Like, cinematically and tonally, just the ice scapes on Hoth, the way they film it. You have that, zooming in shot that we first see. I think it's Luke on the Tauntaun running across, and that's all stop motion. It's all filmed on, a miniature. I've seen the behind-the-scene photos, and it's like a table like this, but on a larger scale.
Yeah.
And it's, miniature hills and mountains, and
Yeah.
they have like doors come up from underneath, so they can pop their heads up and move the figures and close the door and go back underneath. It's like everything was shot on a raised floor.
Yeah.
To do all this, so just the stop motion part of it still looks,
I mean, you can tell it's stop motion, but it's done well.
It's really done well
because they cut from a wide shot to close up and
with the puppet. Yeah. But just it's so different from everything we saw in Star Wars. But it's just a fantastic opening. You got, you instantly get Luke with a little bit of his hero music, but it's played a little differently. It's more serious. It's not as like epic and heroic.
Yeah.
And you got a little bit of Han, and then just with the Wampa that takes Luke out right away. It's kind of it's like, what the hell are we in for? If this is the way it starts. And then you don't see Luke for another 10, 12 minutes.
I did like that he got taken out because it let me know how far he got in his training.
Yeah.
Apparently not very. Because this giant-ass Yeti got a hold of him pretty quick and took him out without warning. So, because, it seems like a decent amount of time has passed.
It's been 3 years.
So, it's odd to me that he never trained or... That's the part I didn't quite get.
There was no... I don't
Obi-Wan didn't come to him and say, go to the Dagobah? Or...
no, not until we saw it here,
For the love of God, Dagobah. I kept saying bodega.
Bodega. Go to the bodega system, and while you're there, get me some Cheetos and a soda.
I kept misremembering it because it's so close to that. Yeah. But it seems weird that... There's 3 years that he could have been training. Yeah,
but I get the sense that Obi-Wan never popped up before now. I'd have to read, expanded universe between the movies to see, did the Force Ghost part of it ever come back? What else? I don't know what else he would have been able to do. He learned how to summon his lightsaber in the cave, in the Wampa cave. He was able to, at least get that far. On his own, I guess. So,
well, didn't he kind of do that with the torpedo shot?
I guess so, using the Force. Yeah.
Anyway, just nitpicking.
Yeah.
But
no, I love the intro to this. All the way up until just the battle with the walkers, and I guess.
Okay, so the walkers the same thing as AT-AT?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All-terrain armored transport.
Okay, so they just call them walkers in that line, but it's the same thing. Yeah. Okay, because I saw there was the big heavy ones and then the two-legged one.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure which was which.
ATSTs, I think.
Okay, because those are some horribly designed machines.
Yeah.
It's like, why get something so freaking tall on 4 spindly legs?
Yeah. But damn, they look amazing.
They do, but tactically horrible design.
Yeah, I think I read that Lucas originally envisioned something on wheels, like on rollers, like a tank. Yeah, which obviously that would make more sense. But
I just got an awesome idea.
Yeah,
a giant BB-8 just rolling around on a beach ball.
Oh my god,
5 stories tall.
Yeah, okay.
How awesome would that be? It would be like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Oh my god.
Oh, I want that. George, redo it.
Yeah, let's go back in.
Remaster it. Let's change up Empire Strikes Back with a giant BB-8.
Yeah, no one will have problems with that.
Hey, well, he's in there.
Yeah.
Hate mail can be sent to Travis.
I didn't start this.
Whatever, Death Star groupie. So the Hoth battle, that is just like the one thing I remember from this movie.
Yeah.
And it's crazy it's at the beginning.
Right.
Like, it's so much at the beginning. Yeah. They've been hiding out from, I guess this is the only place I could find that they hadn't reached yet with their thousands of probes or whatever.
Yeah.
While Darth Vader's looking for his baby boy. That's what I have called this Star Wars. Papa wants his boy back. Because basically he just wants his son back.
That's it, yeah.
Rebellion just keeps hiding him.
Yeah, because essentially all the Empire does, obviously they attack Hoth.
Yeah.
But then it's basically a chase movie.
Mm-hmm.
They chase down the Falcon and then hide out on Cloud City, for a little while till Luke comes to them. So there's not a lot of striking back that the Empire actually does in this. So it's an odd title a little bit, but I mean, I think once this movie starts, it's so easy to get sucked in. I didn't take any notes during the Hoth battle because I just got sucked in.
I like the Hoth stormtroopers.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Their masks.
Snowtroopers.
Yeah. Oh, they're called snowtroopers.
Yeah.
Okay.
The guys with full...
Yeah.
They kind of remind me of Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just white. Yeah. And then you got the AT-AT drivers have different helmets on. I think those are the only different versions we get in this. And then the classic... Do we see any classic stormtroopers?
Oh, in the... what about in Cloud City?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Boom. I just knowledge Travis.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, okay. So,
one thing I never.
Oh, we forgot to talk about the Tauntaun.
Oh, well, yeah. Let's do it.
That scene makes me want to vomit every time.
Really?
Like the way it cuts in, and then all of those little maggoty looking things just sort of expand, and it just sounds like every time it's so freaking gross.
Ben. Hang on, kid. This may smell bad, kid. But it'll keep you warm till I get the shelter up. I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
But I love it that he has to jam Luke into this thing. And that leads me to my other thing, is that Luke is basically beaten, tortured, or he has the worst time. This has got to be the worst movie to film for him. And he's even getting contorted in Yoda's hut in a swampland. Yeah. He's just always cut up, or I don't know.
Yeah, he has a pretty rough go. I mean,
the Force is not helping him much in this movie.
And yeah, like you said, it had to have been tough for Mark Hamill. I read that he had a really hard time because basically once he's on Dagobah, all the filming for that, I think said it took 5 months.
Good.
I might be misremembering that.
Well, that, and he's alone with Frank Oz.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. He was essentially alone because even Frank Oz was there, but he's 5 feet under him.
Yeah,
on underneath the stage, and can't hear really well. It can't communicate all that well. So basically, Mark Hamill was by himself with a little bit of Kenny Baker and R2, but it's not like they have lines together really. So that would have been tough to essentially be in this movie by yourself, for the most part. The only time that the 6 of them, the original 6, are together is when, after Luke gets patched up and they're in the medical, in the hospital, basically, before they split up again. That's the only time in the movie that all of them are together.
Because the next time, Han's all frozen.
Yeah,
so
he's gone. I mean, and then you got most of them together at the end, but... So yeah, it's strange, but it's so easy to get distracted by this movie. It just
we haven't even talked about what acts.
No, we didn't.
And maybe we don't have to because we're gonna talk. It seems like this one's going pretty naturally in the order that we kind of saw it and remembered to take notes anyway.
Yeah.
Was it in the escape from Hoth that we have the Millennium Falcon sort of being chased by a bunch of Star Destroyers, and they accidentally clip each other?
Oh, yeah. I can never tell if they actually make contact.
I think they do. They slide, they slide against each other.
I think so.
And I always thought that was weird because they're in space. And there's a lot of room.
Yeah.
Were they trying to pinch him in?
I don't know.
That makes no sense to me. They gotta have tractor beams and firing mechanisms and shields.
You'd think they would just bounce off each other.
Yeah, but there was definitely a noise when because they're like, brace.
Yeah. And the actors, like, you can tell they do the Star Trek kind of
wobble.
like, the wobble. They kind of...
and then just shake off to the side.
Yeah. But no, I've never gotten a good sense of, do they actually impact each other? Because
now, well, in the future, the Superman 2 wind blowing scene where everyone's shaking and moving.
Yeah.
God, I love that.
We will get there.
Yeah. So basically, Luke has a Force dream or whatever you want to call it.
With Ben.
Yeah. And he's like,
we're going to the Dagobah system.
Yeah. And R2-D2 and him go back and forth like a couple.
I like that. No, it's okay. I think I like to keep it on manual for a while.
R2's basically telling him to ask for directions.
Yeah. It's weird. I never got the sense that Luke explained to anybody that he's breaking off and going his own.
Well, he got separated because he got knocked out of his ship.
Yeah.
And they fly off while he's looking after.
But there's no radio communication. There's no, R2 doesn't even know what the plan is,
Yeah.
And he's like basically the navigator.
I don't know if he thinks they're safer without knowing. Or...
Maybe. I don't know. And that's true. Like Han and Leia are on the run as soon as they leave the planet. So maybe they know that Luke isn't going to meet him on the rendezvous point. But
yeah, it's a very hero move to not tell anybody what you're doing.
I guess so. Yeah.
It's
never really thought about
brought
it
up a lot. I mean, I noticed it the most in Harry Potter. He could have told a lot of people to help him out, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And then I think other people do that as well.
Right.
I just can't think of it right now.
Sure.
But yeah, he's sort of on his hippie quest to learn about the Force.
I definitely want to talk about Han a little bit. I never understood the finality of Han leaving to go pay off Jabba. Like, why is that such a big deal? Can he not go pay off Jabba and then come back? Is that a security reason? Like, you can't leave the secret base because we might not be here, and then we can't let you know where we're going to be, so we'll never see you again. So,
Well, I think it's that, plus everybody knows he's working maybe with the rebels.
Maybe. I've never understood I'm going to go pay off Jabba and I'll never return, or I don't know.
Took it as his way of trying to suss out Leia's feelings for him.
It is a little bit, but because he says the bounty hunter we ran into on Ord Mandel, is proof to him that they're still after him. And I think that was, he doesn't want to put anyone else in danger by other people coming to get him.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Highness.
I thought you had decided to stay.
Well, the bounty hunter we ran into in Lord Mendel changed my mind.
Han, we need you.
We need?
Yes.
Well, what about you need?
I need. I don't know what you're talking about.
Probably don't.
And what precisely am I supposed to know?
Come on. You want me to stay because of the way you feel about me?
Yes. You're a great help to us. You're a natural leader.
No. That's not it. Come on. Come on.
You're imagining things.
Am I?
I also really like that because it's I think the first kind of example of setting up like an expanded universe. Because I know that there's books between Star Wars and Empire that touch on that exact encounter that he was referring to. It's just always struck me as odd. Like, why do they treat it like he's never going to see them again? And maybe he won't, but
I mean, I
don't know why.
I would see that would be a possibility if he's going to pay off his own, basically the bounty on his head.
Yeah.
I mean, that and maybe it's a hell of a journey. Maybe. I don't know. But he's got the Falcon that's supposed to be fast as shit, so who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just a throwaway comment kind of thing. Like, that's the only reason he would leave.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, because at least in the first movie, he was originally leaving, because he wanted to get paid. He got his money, and now he's going to take off. It's not like it's here where it's like, well, I got my money, I'm going to just take off,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just always it never sits right with me. Just always feels weird. But
I mean, maybe he's trying to turn over a new leaf and pay off his debt and be more respectable like he thinks Leia wants him to be, even though he tells her, you want me to be naughty, don't you?
Scoundrel.
I mean, he really liked that.
Yeah.
They got to be into some kinky stuff. And then Leia. Poor Kylo.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably why he's so screwed up. He just walked in on his folks.
Call me a scoundrel.
Boom. We just figured it out.
That's right.
Backstory of Kylo.
Done.
Traumatized. 50 Shades of Grey stuff.
Yeah. You know who we haven't talked about is Darth Vader.
The Hoth system is supposed to be devoid of human forms.
You found something.
Yes, my lord.
That's it. The rebels are there.
My lord. There are so many uncharted settlements. It could be smugglers, it could be...
That is the system. And I'm sure Skywalker is with them. Set your course for the Hoth system. General Veers, prepare your men. Admiral.
He's a weird one.
He is, but without the presence of Tarkin in this movie, everyone's terrified of him.
Well, shit, yeah.
It's interesting to see how much authority he has. He's more ruthless. He's scarier. Like when he's in charge now, he's terrifying in this movie.
I think that's the piece that Kylo misses.
Yeah,
because I think even without his normal human counterpart or whatever,
Hux,
I still think he's a bit of a puss.
Yeah,
how the shit does that little girl take him on? And she doesn't know jack squat about the Force.
No, but she's also he's wounded, he's distracted, and he just killed his dad. He's got this wound that we've seen like 2 times already when Chewie or Han shoots someone with that it's not a crossbow, it's a whatever. When he shoots somebody with that thing, it like knocks people back, you know, on their ass, and he just took it. So we've got that going for him. He's, like I said, distracted. He just killed his own father. He's not in the right mental place, and he's got this girl that, this lightsaber went to her instead of him. So he's in his head. He's just, not right. And she's a fighter. I mean, we've already seen that she can handle herself in a fight.
Yeah, but she pulls off some serious Force moves, like telekinesis stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like she was way more prepared than Luke ever was.
Yeah.
Plus, she has the abilities of Han Solo to fix the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
She's just too good at everything.
Yeah, I have heard that. They call it the Mary Sue effect. Like, she can do everything, just...
Yeah. I mean, maybe she just is that strong. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she wasn't raised and pampered like Luke was by his aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell. She was just left and then defended herself.
It seems that way.
So, maybe she's got street cred.
Yeah.
So, she knows how to deal with things better. So, because I always thought Luke was a bit of a whiny teenager.
Sure.
Where she's more of a grizzled street
she's
tough.
She's literally on her own. Like, Luke, I don't think it had it easy, but he was definitely, still living with his aunt and uncle, and whereas Rey is on her own from...
So maybe that's it.
For a while anyways.
I don't know. I think it's so striking in that because he stops that bolt, and I'd never seen that before, and it was awesome. Pretty epic.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, nobody's going to be able to touch him.
Sure. And
but,
then,
But then this little girl. Anyways.
Let's. You got anything else for?
Not really.
This act. I mean, it's kind of like it ends with the. Well, I guess just ends with them
going their separate ways.
Yeah,
Well, it sort of ends with, I think, Luke going off with R2
Yeah.
on their wacky adventure to Bodega. So it goes into kind of his escape with all the Empire following after him.
Yeah, which that chase is fantastic.
Yeah, I love the asteroid.
Yeah, the asteroids just being chased by the ships. All of it. The music.
I think the most iconic thing with the Falcon is the move where they go straight up and flip around. Like, they're flying straight, like, they're flying away and then turn up and just flip over.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it looks cool because of the way the ship is.
Yeah.
It's just a sweet move, and he does it a lot. Like, it's even done in the new one.
Yeah.
That he doesn't even do, but...
Yeah.
But
it's it was the way that, like, flying saucer shaped ship.
It's just a cool look.
Works,
when it does that.
Especially when all of its propulsion comes from the very back, so it's probably very easy to flip, on its... Almost do a 180.
Yeah, imagine there's layers of thrust.
Yeah.
So you can kick in the bottom ones to flip you up or something. I don't know. I forgot to study the schematics of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, Travis, I should have worn my other shirt.
Yeah.
I think I've got one. I do have the Falcon schematic shirt, and I've got an X-Wing.
Wow.
But today I went with the Death Star. Even though it's not in this movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's always weird. Like I think it's easy to think, oh, there's a Death Star in all of them, But again, it's like going back to this one. It's weird how little, the Empire. I mean, they're just on some ships and just chasing people. That's all.
Yeah, it's weird. Like
it works,
It's like, where's their secret base?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting to have seen the Empire's... Well, I mean...
Where the Emperor is.
The Emperor is in Coruscant.
Oh.
He might move around. I'm sure that's been, in books and wherever. Like, I don't think he's only ever in Coruscant, but that is still the heart of the Empire.
Because I always figured there was, like, a Sith world or home planet, like, where it really, like, flourished. Or maybe a system.
I forget. There is.
Because I know there is in the extended book series that it follows after all this when Luke's the master of the light side or whatever. Yeah.
I know they touch on it in Clone Wars, the animated series. Like,
I mean,
but I forget which one is the original, like, Sith.
Yeah.
Might be Lothal?
Because I know there's, like, temples and stuff like that makes it sound like there's, like, planets where it flourished. Because... had to start somewhere on a planet.
Well, I know that Dagobah is a planet that is very heavily rich with Sith energy, which is why Yoda is there, and it's kind of masking his presence.
Yeah.
And that's how you get the whole the cave test with Luke. It's a Sith like
training of sorts.
It's just full of bad energy.
Okay.
It's just a dark place.
Bad is dark. Everyone can do a Yoda. That was George Lucas.
Yeah.
If you're saying coming here was a bad idea, I'm beginning to agree with you. R2, what are we doing here? It's like something out of a dream, or I don't know. Maybe I'm just going crazy.
As soon as Luke gets to Dagobah, he's just entirely negative. Like, and I get, like, he just crashed his ship on a place he doesn't want to be, But it's like, everything from just being there, he doesn't, he gets pissed off about the ship,
I thought he was going to meet some great Jedi master.
Yeah,
and then
I guess he is probably disappointed.
He gets Yoda, the tiny little frog, hairy
but
elf guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's weird.
But he's
very Mr. Miyagi.
I think when I used to watch it, I always assumed that, Yoda was just kind of crazy. Like, he's been on by himself for years and years, and he's just, he's a little, he's gone a little mad. But the older I got, the more I realized he's putting on a show.
Yeah.
He's pretending to be this crazy, local
swamp hermit,
swamp frog. Yeah. But he's just testing Luke from the jump.
Yeah.
He's testing to see, if I approach him and offer help, is he going to accept it and be grateful? Or is he going to, and what Luke does is, he pretends like he doesn't need anyone's help, especially this little guy. He doesn't want his help. So I like the fact that this is all a test from the jump.
Yeah, and I forgot how much Yoda really just doesn't like Luke.
Yeah, he's definitely a little hesitant.
And I don't blame him, because it's the son of the guy that ruined everything.
Yeah.
And he seems to be just as pissy. So
yeah, it's kind of like Uncle Owen. Like, he doesn't want Luke going down this path that's going to encourage him to be like his father. So,
and it does. I mean, that's the part I never understood until the line later that there's another.
Yeah.
But that also made me confused, because isn't he going to save the other?
Yeah. I mean,
or does that mean that he already knows Leia's fate is not to die? There's so many layers to that that you just don't, like, who's to say Yoda couldn't see Leia's part, but he didn't say anything? Or he seems unconcerned that the other will be... Yeah. Like, he's pretty confident there's another one out there. And I'm assuming that's Leia.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if they know that at this point, the writers. I mean, actually, when they're making Empire, I would assume so.
It always breaks my brain when I try to think about it. Like, I
wonder what the original intent for there is another. I don't know if that was always meant to be Leia, or if they wrote that in, after the fact. I don't know.
Or it's just some other.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to find out.
Although that does lead me to something I forgot about, where Han and Leia are arguing.
Yeah.
About how her true feelings were shown. Mm-hmm. And then she locks lips with Luke.
Yeah.
And he enjoys it a little too much.
I mean...
You think the Force could drop a brother some knowledge that that's his sister?
Yeah, so you think they just repel each other like magnets?
Couldn't the Force just cockblock that?
Yeah.
Or as they call it, C3PO that? He did that to Luke or Han and Leia.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that stuff.
He's like, I fixed the coupler.
And I don't like C3PO, but I like him in this movie. He's got some just great moments. He's...
Yeah. You think he's going to have a heroic moment, and then he gets blown to pieces.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think everyone was probably like, yes! And he got blown to pieces.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, because he is the Jar Jar of the older trilogy.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's just an incessant talker that just won't stop, and it's the same spiel over and over. I'm surprised R2 doesn't just take him out. And for the love of God, why can't they make R2 talk?
Yeah, I don't know.
They got the technology.
Reason for yeah. Just add a little speaker box.
I wish they would, so we could just tell C3PO to shove it.
Yeah.
They'd be like the Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
Like the back and forth, and you can't understand, so C3PO has to...
Yeah, it's
you have to infer what he's saying based on his reaction, so that's kind of fun.
Yeah. I definitely want to talk about Vader and his ship, which I love the reveal that Vader's ship is just massive beyond when you see the regular Star Destroyers, and then you see the Super Star Destroyer that's casting a shadow on all of them.
That and his weird meditation bubble
thing. His egg.
Yeah. At first I thought it was a ship. like an escape pod of sorts.
Oh, okay.
Or like something smaller to go to another
like
ship.
The cockpit of his TIE fighter kind of thing.
Well, not even that. It was just like a space pod. Like it looks spherical.
It could maybe serve as an escape pod if he needs to. It wouldn't surprise me if it had like a chute that ran, in a pinch he could hit eject.
Yeah, because I was like,
that'd be
what
cool.
is that exactly?
I think it's just his like meditation chamber, or I think it's probably where he gets all of his Like it's a medical containment chamber. I think he can take off his
clean
mask.
up his nasty remains or whatever.
Yeah, probably like he plugs into it and it evacuates all of his, waste.
Okay.
Okay. Let's really dive into this. It's a toilet. he's in a Johnny on the spot.
He must have some horrendous ones.
Oh my god!
If he needs to be in a capsule,
I just picture the little valve on like a trumpet or a trombone where you have the spit valve. I think he just like turns a little spigot like somewhere on his back or somewhere, and just all this putrid like waste spills out.
And is that what the gang was in the first movie when they were being attacked by that worm monster in the water?
Yeah,
that's
essentially.
Darth Vader's.
Oh man, that's just like years and years of built up Vader goo. That's great.
And Vader's like, I sense them in my pain.
Oh man.
That's the source of the dark side.
Yeah.
It's literally coming from his dark side. Oh, I'm so mature, it's disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that scene in his pod of healing or pooping, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure where that other crew was, but that he was force choking him.
Yeah, he's on a different ship.
Yeah, so but I'm assuming it's one of the closer ones.
Yeah,
because I don't think he can stretch across galaxies with a force choke, right? I mean,
no, he's definitely because they're in. And that was while they were in atmosphere or in
that guy
over Hoth.
Yeah, that guy came out of Lightspeed too soon.
Yes, that tipped off everybody on Hoth. So he's
so he's probably in the vicinity then.
Yeah,
because he shows up on Hoth,
right?
And then I love that scene because he basically is firing the one guy, and the other guy's like, "Oh, great, thanks, Darth.
Yeah.
I get to have that guy's job now."
I love Vader's relationship with Piet. That's who he says, you're in command now, like Captain Piet. And then later on, kills Admiral Nita, and don't fail me again, Admiral Piet. So I love that this guy, for whatever reason, Vader has a soft spot for, and just keeps promoting him, and he gives him slack. And even like Piet he's the one that essentially lets Han and the Falcon go when they fix the light speed.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get killed. Like Piet lives.
Who's the one that he does kill and he says apology accepted?
That's Admiral. That one's great because when the Falcon disappears, and it's really on the backside of the Star Destroyer, he says he'll go personally, take a shuttle over to Vader and apologize in person. That's Nita. So, and in that moment, he's Admiral Nita, but as Vader kills him, he says, apology accepted, Captain Nita. So he demotes him as he, as he's killing him.
Well, at least he kept him as
and
a
then
captain.
Promotes the other guy, promotes Piet. I love that. That's part of why I think Vader works best when he doesn't have Tarkin, controlling him, basically. And Tarkin's great, he works beautifully in Star Wars, but Vader is so much better.
Well, yeah, he was always like a attack dog in the first one.
Right.
Like, that's all he was. Now he's...
Yeah. He's
taking command.
Unchained.
Yep.
Vader Unchained.
Okay.
You want to talk about some Jedi training?
Yeah, it had a lot to do with levitating things and being upside down.
Is the dark side stronger?
No. But the easier, more seductive.
But how am I to know the good side from the bad?
You will know when you are calm, at peace, passive. A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack.
But tell me why I can't...
No, there is no why. Nothing more will I teach you today.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that was to help him focus, like with distractions. Like...
Yeah, I think so. And And you got to work with what you got. You don't have like a Jedi temple training facility, so they've got to use the swamp and the trees and the rocks and what they have.
Access cargo and
yeah.
I did like Yoda and Luke flipping around the swamp.
Yeah, the Yoda backpack.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down.
Great.
Yoda backpack.
Yeah. I do love the when Yoda switches from being the crazy old hermit to you hear Ben and explaining that he was also reckless and whatever, and then the shift that Yoda makes when
he gets
Luke
serious.
realizes it. Yeah, it's just brilliant.
And I like that Yoda is so cold.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah,
because essentially he's telling Luke to let his friends die.
Yeah,
and that he's a failure, and this is why you failed.
Yeah,
and you're going to turn into an evil person like your father, or not like your father, but like Vader.
Yeah,
who we don't know is his father. Spoilers. And he could have easily turned because he would have been resentful that nobody told him that Vader was his dad.
Yeah.
Because he brings that up later over and over. Like, Ben, why didn't you tell me? So that seemed like a poor... Why not tell the truth?
Yeah, it's...
Was he afraid that...
I mean,
he'd want to just meet his dad? And then...
Well, Ben explains it in Jedi. That, he didn't want Luke to be taken over by the Emperor as well.
Yeah.
He didn't want him rushing off to face Vader and all that.
Even though that's what he does.
Yeah. It's kind of tragic. I mean, Luke doesn't... Luke fails at every test we're shown.
Yep.
He fails with, levitation, and he fails at the cave, right off the bat. Like Yoda tells him, a Jedi only uses his power for knowledge and defense. So the first, the immediate test right after that is the cave. Yoda explains, you won't need your weapons if So as soon as he straps on his weapons belt and goes into the cave, he's already failed.
Yeah,
because he's already gone into a situation anticipating, having to use his weapons. And then it's Luke that ignites his lightsaber when he confronts Vader first in the dream cave sequence and in the battle in Cloud City. It's Luke that is the aggressor both places. So it's just, it's strange that you don't get the training that you're expecting of. It's not like a Rocky montage where he kind of stumbles and falls and fails, a little bit, but then by the end of it, after a kick-ass montage, that he finally figures it out and becomes, the hero that, we think he's going to become.
I'm going to have to search the internet for that. If somebody put montage music behind the training, like, you're the best around. As he's falling and failing. Because the part I liked the best about the training was the part where he's trying to lift his starfighter out.
Yeah.
And Yoda says, either you do or you don't.
Yep.
There is no try.
Yep.
Or, I'm paraphrasing. So
that's pretty close. Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah. And I like that saying because it should have given him a clue that, there really isn't any limit.
Right.
But what you put on yourself.
Yeah.
We'll never get it out now.
So certain are you? Always with you what cannot be done. Do you nothing that I say?
Master, moving stones around is one thing. This is totally different.
No different. Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
All right, I'll give it a try.
No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try.
If you clear your mind and you just let the Force,
and he can't grasp that.
Yeah,
like he's too stuck in what he knows.
He says it. It's too big, And then that kicks off one of my favorite moments in all of Star Wars.
I can't. It's too big.
Size matters not. Look at me. touch me by my size, do you? And where you should not. For my ally is the Force. And a powerful ally it is. Life creates it. Makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. You must feel the Force around you. Here, between you, me, the tree, the rock, everywhere. Yes, even between the land and the ship.
You want the impossible.
Yoda just laying it all out there, you know, the whole, like, judge me by my size, do you? You know, you're not this crude matter. He, you know, pokes at his muscles. It's like, this does not matter when it comes to the Force. You know, explaining that the Force is everywhere with, you know, the trees, the rocks, the ship. I cannot get enough of this part of the movie. You know, and then all the way down to, you know, Luke says, well, I'll try, you know, and, you know, we get the line like you just mentioned, and then he fails.
Sulks in the corner,
and then just Yoda just whips out, you know, he
Whips
just
out
whips
his-
it out and just
out his big Force stick.
yeah, and you know,
like, boom,
and then down to the line of you know, Luke comes up and says, I don't believe it, and even that is just one of those phrases that everyone uses. You don't mean like I don't believe it.
It's the
but
shock.
It's the shock, yeah. And Yoda just, you know, all he has to say is that's why you fail. You know,
Yep.
it's a beautiful sequence. I think it's probably my favorite moment in Star Wars. I wrote down that like Ben gave us a taste of the Force in Star Wars, talking about, you know, it's an energy field. It surrounds us and penetrates us, and you know.
Please don't say penetrate.
Yeah. But just talking about how it holds the galaxy together and all that stuff. And that's like my favorite moment in Star Wars.
Yeah.
One of them, but pretty much. And so that was like a little taste. And then Yoda just gives us the entire meal, you know.
But he doesn't talk about midichlorians.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Little tiny blood robots or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Parasites, I don't know. Something in your blood.
Yeah.
Just saying. There should be a lot more blood transfusions going on if that's the case.
Yeah, what if you got a transfusion from a Jedi Master?
Maybe you just get like a quick pick-me-up with Force ability until it works its
Until it burns out, yeah.
way out, like your body takes over. Unless you get like a lot of it or something, I guess.
Yeah.
I could see it being a drug. Midichlorian.
Yeah.
Boom. We got midichlorian junkies.
It's all jacked up on MIDI.
The dark side.
It's kind of like True Blood. You know, when humans drink vampire blood, they get like all amped up and...
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Wow, who would have thought that combination?
Yeah.
Star Wars and
Yeah.
blood. Oh, man. Okay, so Han, after the asteroids, escapes basically with the trash. Is that where we're at?
What's the sequence of events?
That's
so
the
they're
hard
on
part
the
for
run.
me. I'm having trouble piecing it all together because it's so scattered.
They're on the run in the Falcon. They go through the asteroid field. They hide in the cave.
Yeah.
And then when they leave the cave, that's when they're still pursued by the Star Destroyers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they do the let's charge at the ships, you know, go on an attack run.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's, you know, they hide on the backside. And then do the whole trash floating away sequence.
With Boba Fett saying, you try. Me and my giant penis ship will get you. It's so weird seeing it land on the ground, and it's all like...
Oh, it goes flat. It always makes me think of like an iron, like on an ironing board.
Right.
Like that's just what
that was very phallic.
Flat on the bottom. Really? Because like the bottom
Yeah.
extends out. Yeah.
Yeah. That says more about me. You think ironing, I think.
Yeah.
Nobody look into that if you're a psychologist, please. So they're going to the Lando system, as Leia says.
Yeah.
And they're gonna meet up with Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, I do like the Lando system line.
Yeah. And get some sweet Colt 45.
Oh, yeah.
The best. I kept waiting for him to say it.
Yeah.
I knew he wouldn't, but just seeing Billy D. Williams, I think of Lando, and I think of malt liquor Colt 45.
See, I never saw those commercials. Like, I get like the pop culture kind of reference to it, but I never saw them. I never like saw reruns. Never like saw them on YouTube, so I never like got that connection. Like, I understand that people have that connection because of that's, I guess, what he was maybe famous for or whatever. You know, I always think of him as Harvey Dent in the first Batman. Because I saw that first, and then I saw this.
Okay.
So
see, we recorded a lot of movies off of TV, so that's how I kept seeing it.
Sure.
Like even when I was like in my early teens.
Wow.
I still saw the old commercials and stuff. Like what's his name? Dude from Major League, Bob Uecker or whatever his name is. No, he's like the announcer in Major League.
Okay.
I think it's Bob Uecker. But he did like old beer commercials and stuff, like for I think Miller Lite.
Nice.
But that's like part of the thing that I think kids are gonna miss out on is the old commercials.
Yeah.
Unless you go to YouTube, I guess. But it was part of the fun of watching
stuff off VCR.
Stuff off of VCR because like years later, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that commercial. Oh wow, that's so racist. Oh, that's so sexist.
Unless you were like some kind of technical wizard and you mastered the art of stopping the recording and then
not a chance. You never knew when that sucker was going to kick in.
Yeah. You're playing with fire when it comes to that.
It was hard enough on a tape when you're trying to do a mixtape off the radio.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid DJs talking over the music. Hit your post. Good Lord.
Yeah.
But, anyway, got off on a Colt 45 tangent.
That's easy to do.
But I like their reaction, like their meeting, Han and Lando. Because Lando's like, how dare you show your face around here?
I do love that.
Are you slimy, double-crossing, no-good swindler?
You got a lot of guts coming here after what you pulled.
How you doing, you old pirate? So good to see you.
And then he goes in for a hug, but Han thinks he's going to take a swing, so he's like ready to pop
him.
He's
all defensive, yeah.
So you know he did something that deserved getting hit.
Yeah. I like...
Oh, wait. Was it just that he won the Falcon from him, or do you think it was something else?
I think there's probably another, adventure in between there sometime, yeah. I don't know.
Okay. They just seem like they had a fun time.
Oh, yeah. I there's definitely something there because they're being shot at as they approach, Cloud City, and, and he's like, oh, we go way back, and then you hear Chewie, and he's like, oh, it's a long time. I'm sure he's forgotten about that.
Yeah,
I love that.
We did get a lot of Chewie and Han.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're basically an old married couple.
Yeah, there's like when Chewie's, for whatever reason, taking apart the Falcon at the beginning on Hoth. Yeah. Trying to get us out of here. You taking this part now?
I like that everything can be fixed with just more wiring.
Oh, yeah.
Like he just... wiring and wrenches. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I love that. But, I like that Leia doesn't like... Lando right away.
Yeah, I like that she's suspicious. Yeah.
She's like, okay, used car salesman.
Mm-hmm.
Used Star Destroyer salesman, whatever you want to call him.
He's a gas. I mean, they mine
gas. Yeah. Oh, is it gas? Okay, I just heard mining.
Yeah, the Tabana gas mines.
And that would explain how the
Bespin
city
is
gets
the planet that we don't see. It's underneath Cloud City. I don't like how casual Lando is about talking about... like as they're doing like a walk and talk, he's taking them to dinner.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I just made a deal that's going to secure, keep the Empire out of here for years to come. And that deal is literally with the Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, Lando just, I think he's trying to soften the blow by saying,
Yeah.
I'm taking care of my people that I'm responsible for, and I didn't have a choice, and all this stuff, and
then the reveal behind door number 1.
Yeah. I love the robot chicken. It might have been the Star Wars special, but because they walk in and there's Vader sitting in his dining room.
I know,
and then weird. He's like, "I'd be honored if you would join us." And then the robot chicken takes over, like, once that door closes, because it's like, what goes on in this room? And then it's like this awkward dinner. And like Boba Fett's sitting there at the end of the table and like making hand gestures to Han, like, I'm gonna, like, I think he does the noose, like choking, mime motion, or like keeps, taunting Han like he's gonna kill him. And I think Vader's like, could you pass the rolls?
This leads to the part I think more confused about, is that Darth Vader doesn't realize that's his daughter.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't he sense some kind of force within her, even though she hasn't obviously been practicing? Because Luke can talk to her in her mind.
I think she can receive his, like, transmission,
Yeah.
And
And obviously, I mean, Luke and Leia don't look that much alike.
Yeah.
But you'd think that he would see Padme or himself in one of them. Like if this was really
they made the movies in order, yes, I think Vader would get some presence off of Leia. But because of the order, because
and maybe
that
not.
wasn't established,
because Luke didn't know about Leia being a sister and wanting to get busy with her.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So maybe it's not like maybe you can't sense it unless her force is awakened,
and that could be it. Like, Luke, his force ability was, it was guided by Ben, and his force was awakened.
Because before that, I don't think he did anything, maybe other than aid his driving.
I think he was good at piloting the little ships and that kind of stuff, like kind of like Anakin was. He could, like Luke could have piloted a pod racer at that speed,
But he sucked at the training there, where the blaster was shooting while he had his visor down.
Yeah.
Like, it took him a little bit of time.
Took him a little bit, yeah. But he eventually, we saw, like, a couple moments later, he got it.
How this one didn't go with the training.
Yeah.
I think that tells me that Obi-Wan's a better trainer than Yoda.
Yeah. It's probably more like Obi-Wan was more interested in teaching him the ways of the lightsaber, the more defensive part of training, whereas Yoda was trying to teach him the broader, more vague concepts of the Force and
making it an ally.
Yeah.
And all that.
Because
I did like that line where he says, if you go against Vader, you go alone.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have the Force as an ally.
Yeah, and then Ben doesn't show up,
Yep.
So, yeah, I do like that as well.
I know he calls for him when he's hanging on the antenna.
And do you think
TV.
Ben's just sitting there like, I told you. Like, do you think Force Ghost Ben picked up on that and just ignored him?
I don't know if it's maybe that Luke can't control picking up the Force Ben, or
That's
maybe
true. Yeah.
Darth Vader and his dark power sort of makes it more difficult to connect.
Could be.
I don't know, but I mean, it's obvious he doesn't have control over it. I mean, he's never really meant to do it. It's always just sort of happened.
Yeah.
So, maybe because he's in a state when he's got his hand cut off, his dad's Darth Vader, and he's hanging upside down. So he's probably not able to concentrate like he was when he was flying that X-wing or whatever for the Death Star in the last movie.
And again, that kind of defends my point about Kylo. Yeah. He was distracted. He'd been injured. He'd had an issue with his father. So
daddy issues.
Yeah.
That's the theme of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Now we'll see. What's her face? The new girl,
Rey.
Ren. Yeah. Rey.
Yeah.
I always want to say Ren because of Kylo Ren, and then there's Rey, and then there's whatever that other dude is. He's got one name.
Finn,
Poe.
Yeah, everyone's got one name. They're so like scared of giving anyone a last name, or except for Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
And then his parents were in like the newer comic books. Like they've gone into his backstory. Yeah. Like his parents were in the Battle of Endor in Return of the Jedi.
Okay. Gotcha.
Let's see.
Because Finn, he's got an excuse. He doesn't have a name.
Right.
He's only a number.
Yeah.
So Luke rushes off because he senses while practicing the future of Leia and Han and everyone, but he can't tell exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He just knows they're in pain.
Yeah, Yoda tells him, like, the future's cloudy.
It's constantly shifting, blah, 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 which, technically
makes
is.
sense. Yeah, I mean,
if Back to the Future's taught us anything, it erased.
Right. I have I've always listened to Star Wars Minute. I don't know if you've ever listened to it or.
It's the one where they do the minute of the movie
by minute,
at a time. Yeah.
They clued me into secret Star Wars quotes, and it's like little lines from Star Wars that don't apply to regular, everyday life, but you can use them. Like the one from Empire that I've always liked is after Han gets finished being tortured, he just walks in and just the casual, like, I feel terrible. Like anytime like I'm sick or anything, I say it, and I'm in my head, I know, I'm thinking Han Solo, but like you wouldn't pick up on it, because it's not. It's an everyday phrase that anyone can use.
Yeah, it's just
they're
delivery.
called secret Star Wars quotes.
Nice. There's
a bunch of them. I mean, you can. Anyways, like, not that has anything to do with anything, but so I get a little glassy-eyed watching when the little confrontation goes down when they're putting Han Solo into the carbonite chamber, the freezing chamber, and there's a scuffle, and Chewie's like killing stormtroopers left and right, and then Han has to calm him down and say, nobody, you got to take care of the princess now.
Yeah, and it's not helping. And...
Yes, stop, please. I'm not ready to die.
Hey, listen to me, Chewie. Chewie, this won't help me. Hey, save your strength. There'll be another time. The princess, you have to take care of her. You hear me? Huh?
Having seen Force Awakens and knowing just how their little relationship ends up, I don't know, watching it this time I got a little bit glassy-eyed just watching Han tell Chewie, I'm not going to be here, you got to take care of the princess. So I don't know, had a little bit different impact on me this time.
I do like, because I didn't remember this, that Vader's basically testing it on him so that he doesn't destroy Luke, because that's how he wants to capture Luke for the Emperor. I missed that part when I watched it. It wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I like that he keeps going back on whatever he tells Lando. Like whatever the deal was.
Yeah.
I love that Vader just keeps. No one can stop him. Yeah, like you feel you're being treated unfairly.
Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He's just a big bully.
Oh yeah. We get the kind of the first demonstration of Force powers, aside from the Force being able to move things, but when Luke jumps out of that freezing chamber, it's kind of the first instance of extra abilities that the Force gives you with your physical. I know in Phantom Menace they can run really fast and jump really high, which I think a lot of people didn't like because they'd never seen it before, but we see it here with this. And he does some flips
I think it's just that
it's aided by the Force.
Used a lot more heavily in the new ones. So everyone's flipping around like a video game.
Yeah.
And this, it's more of I could see it as a one desperate act. Yeah. More than a thing you can do over and over.
Force.
Yeah. It's more of a Force boost than a typical move.
Sure.
Because Yoda's like a freaking spin top machine in his fight. In the newer ones, but and he also does it when he falls and he sort of forces himself into that tube.
Yeah.
Like he does that weird flip.
I think
and
so.
then
Yeah.
Guide.
Yeah.
Because it's not a natural.
No, he
fall
definitely,
at all.
I think, guided himself to
Yeah.
the wall where he gets sucked in. Although it is it's like the central air for this, air shaft for this huge station. So it might have also been like vacuum tubes, like pulling him towards the side.
I think it was just such a natural look that I assued it was the Force.
I've always seen it as being Force pushed himself basically to the wall.
But it does lead us to the reveal.
I mean, see, and I watching all that stuff, it's like, what else can you say? I mean, it's been talked about, so long. The spoilers, whatever. Like, it's a great moment. Their fight is great from start to finish. And then the reveal is it's still really good. It's like what.
I like Mark Hamill's reaction.
The no.
No,
that's impossible.
That's impossible. And his face is all like contorted because he's in pain. And
yeah,
I know a lot of people make fun of that.
Yeah,
but it's an intense scene. He just got his freaking hand cut off.
I know. I guess
he's dealing with a lot of shit right now.
Yeah. In the original script, because this was all a secret, even up to filming, like Mark Hamill didn't know what that line was going to be until like moments before they filmed it. They wanted it to be a secret, even to he wanted them to be shocked as well. And I guess the original line was, "No, Obi-Wan killed your father." So that would have been an interesting, like, weird twist. But
he almost did.
And you could still twist that to still be true. Like, I'm still your father, and I was killed by Obi-Wan. Anakin was killed by Obi-Wan. You could still make it work that Vader is his father.
Way.
Yeah.
But they took the road that Vader killed Anakin because Vader took over.
Yeah.
The dark side basically took over, is the way to say it. But it was. I was confused at first because I was like, wait, he falls down into a big pit, and they were fighting in the carbonite chamber. Mm-hmm. And then I forgot they moved around.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, where the hell's the pit? Because he fell into that, but that's not the pit I was thinking of.
Because they get... And I know when Vader knocks out the window and they get sucked out into that air shaft.
Which I really liked.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I always watch that fight right there, and it's... Luke at that point is so broken and just very pathetic looking, like, because he's trying, to fight off these objects that Vader is throwing at him, and it's like half-hearted attempts at blocking these hits,
but it lets him know, I think, for the next movie how much he needs to train.
Yeah,
and that
how outmatched he is.
Yoda is right that that's kind of pathetic. It was basically child abuse.
Kind of, yeah. And
because he is a child in the Force.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like, all the training we've seen in this movie leading up to this point, it's like, how else could it have gone? If Luke had been victorious in this, it wouldn't have been deserved. Luke does not deserve to win this.
I was surprised he did as well as he did.
Yeah.
Like, he actually...
He got a hit on him,
He got his arm.
Yeah. So...
Because Darth Vader, I picture as, loads more powerful than Kylo Ren.
Oh, yeah.
Because Kylo's not even done with his training himself.
Yeah, he's still like a raw nerve. He's still
so I thought
raw power. And
Darth Vader would have been like just, nothing could touch him. Yeah. Like he'd have like his aura of Force energy around him that somebody like Luke couldn't even hope to get near.
Right.
But maybe Darth Vader's just toying with him. And
it could be.
He's a robot anyway, so what does it matter if you hit his arm? Just go back to his maintenance pod and get a new one.
Yeah. Go ahead and throw a new one on him. I'm less human than I was this morning.
Because he's only got like stumps, really, right?
Yeah, he's got
one hand.
That would have been his
right arm got hit.
Yeah, his right hand is prosthetic, mechanical. Mm-hmm. His right arm would have been human.
Because I thought he had one hand that was still good. When I remember back to the scene where they're building Darth Vader, I thought he still had one functioning hand.
I don't think so. Because I remember when he's pulling himself up from that lava, he's doing it with his mechanical hand.
Yeah.
So I think he lost both legs at the knees, and then a full arm. I don't remember where at the arm. Elbow or shoulder, I don't remember.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of the new RoboCop.
Oh, okay.
Because he had one hand.
Yeah, that's right.
And I thought that was weird because it's a similar, like they're both kind of the same thing, where they take the remains of a human and put it into a robot, essentially.
Yeah. Well, we even joked in our Star Wars episode that he's like RoboCop.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's what I was thinking of. The new RoboCop when they were building him. I thought it was odd that they kept one fleshy hand.
That was really weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why they would?
Yeah.
You have this cop that's an armored, guy. Why? Leave a fleshy hand and not even put a glove on it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Joke.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
So never mind. I was getting confused with the cop version of Vader.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'll do like a part we've already passed. Chewbacca's rescue of C3PO, where he goes into the scrap section.
Plays keep away with the Ugnaughts.
I just thought it was like kind of cool that somebody had their eye on C3PO.
Yeah,
because everyone else was just like, we'll find him later.
Chewie's all heart.
And he's just going around hitting people, grabbing whatever he can that he thinks is C3PO.
And that is fantastic. Like as he's putting them together, and he puts his head on backwards. That's the little bits of C3PO comedy that I actually like in this movie.
Well, that was weird to me because I'm like, I thought this dude could like fix the Falcon. And he can't put a guy's head on the right way.
But Chewie laughs when C3PO freaks out about it. So I think he kind of knows. Like
did it on purpose.
Like I'm going to put your head on backwards, you dickhead.
Anyway, that was the one I just forgot to mention.
Mm-hmm. I love when Lando comes in. He's like, "Are you having problems with your droid?" No.
Han is weird in the whole cloud scene.
Yeah, I think he's out of his element. He feels threatened by Lando with Leia. He's not in control. He can't. I don't know.
He just got tortured with a weird torture device.
But even before that, when they arrive and they're still being treated like guests, like it's he's very awkward. And
so Luke uses the Force to call Leia to his aid.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know where he is. And then he miraculously hangs on enough for them to catch him in the Falcon.
Mm-hmm. He was messing someone's cable up that day. Go out there and mess with the antenna. Mom, there's someone hanging on our antenna.
There's like this is the ship that's been tampered with, so they can't get away right away.
Yeah, they can't.
And Darth is talking to Luke through the Force, trying to.
I'm always like conflicted about Vader. Vader says Luke, and Luke responds Father. Yeah. Like, it always just doesn't seem. It seems a little too rushed that Luke would already be calling him Father.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been like more sarcastic, like Father. That's more.
But I like that he instantly. Hangs up with Vader and tries to call Ben.
Hangs up. Call Wayne.
I mean, that's basically what happens.
It's like, Ben, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Ben. Or maybe it's that he's connecting with Vader and realizes that it is his father.
Could be. Maybe like, once that's unlocked, maybe you have a different, like...
I don't know what they're sensing between each other.
Yeah, maybe that's how it works. But then he still asks later on, like, is Vader my father? I think he asks Yoda in the next movie.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, Spoilers. He's still not... Yeah, sorry, folks. He's still not 100% convinced, but...
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty out of it at that point anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Got anything else? I mean, at this point...
Yeah, they fix it, the warp drive, or whatever you want to call it.
I do like that bit, drive. With the... They're kind of subtly... revealing that with, let's see, when they plug in, R2 plugs in the computer and C3PO's yelling at him, we don't care about the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon,
Yeah, I was like, you don't?
Yeah, it's like...
And he fixes it and saves the day.
Yeah.
And then it shoots to Luke getting his arm fixed. Mm-hmm. And Boba Fett previously flew off with Han before they could get to him.
We didn't talk about that.
Yeah. Han in his floating carbonite chamber.
Yeah. Which is an awesome way to deal with a character that you don't know what you're going to do with. Like, just freeze him in a block of steel and we'll deal with him later. Like, I think the idea was that he would then die because Harrison Ford was real like cagey on whether or not he wanted to come back, and so it's an interesting way to. I mean, it's a hell of a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
for one. It's also just it's a great way to leave an ambiguous like fate for this character.
Yeah, and it sort of I think is a pivotal moment in Leia's sort of relationship with him.
Yeah,
like you could tell.
Oh yeah,
we she's finally broke down. I mean, this whole movie is about him trying to break her ice shield of her
haughty exterior. Yeah, we didn't even talk about their relationship really.
Yeah,
I really dig the Han and Leia parts of this movie
because she's refusing to believe that she has feelings for him, even though he can tell she does.
But I like there's a moment with them. Obviously, there's a moment that C3PO ruins after they kiss. Yeah. But then after that, it's like she's warmed up to him even more because then when Han explains something about Lando or being able to go there, she says, you certainly do have your moments. And then she gives him a little kiss like on the side of the head.
Yeah, that was where his plan to go out with the garbage.
Oh, that was it, yeah. So it's like already then she's softened up to where she can casually give him little,
Because I think that was a surprising chunk of movie. It was based on him trying to get that relationship up and running.
Yeah.
There's a lot more character development in this one. A lot
more, yeah.
So
I like the restraint that they use with the amount of time where they're sitting and waiting, like in the space slug on the asteroid.
Oh,
like they're just kind of sitting waiting. And there's one shot of Leia just literally sitting there, kind of reclining in the chair in the cockpit right before she sees the Minox flying outside and she gets spooked. Like it's just a quiet moment that it's kind of surprising that we get in this. And then there's kind of lingering shots when they're waiting on the garbage and they use a lot of restraint as far as like giving this movie a little bit of time to but not overdoing it with I don't remember which movie we watched recently. There was just a lot of long, slow scenes that were like pace-wise were slowing the movie down.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen a few of those.
Yeah, I forget which one it was now. It was one that's like had they cut out 20 minutes or 30 minutes, it would have gone faster. And
it shows Luke getting repaired.
I dig the trick of using his real hand with a little fake bit of prosthetics at the wrist.
Yeah.
With the interior, the wires and
the cool
linkages and stuff, and that's a really cool way to have him, show him getting his new hand. It's really, really clever.
And I didn't really talk about too much, but the fact that they sort of tweaked the Vader and Emperor scene with.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go back and talk about that a little bit?
Because that's a sort of a testing moment almost for Vader.
Yeah.
Like, what is Vader going to do now that he knows who...
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't believe that it's his son.
Right.
He's like, how is that possible? Blah, blah, blah.
He could destroy us.
He's just a boy. Obi-Wan can no longer help him.
The Force is strong with him. The son of Skywalker must not become a Jedi.
If he could be turned, he would become a powerful ally.
Yes. He would be a great asset. Can it be done?
He will join us or die, Master.
Now, I know they're hiding him. Why wouldn't they change his name?
I don't know.
Because doesn't Uncle Ben have a different name? Or no? Is
Uncle
he a
Owen is...
Uncle Owen.
No, their last name
Uncle Ben is Rice.
Yeah. No, their last name's Lars.
That's what I thought. So why wouldn't he take that name?
I don't know. I think they just figured
because Leia
Vader is never going to come back to Tatooine, so I think they figure he's safe. It is. It's very, very dangerous game to play. I don't know why you wouldn't call him.
Because Leia got a new name. What the hell?
Yeah, but she was also adopted. I don't know. It's not a. That's definitely a loose thread that.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a badass name.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Scott. That's cool. That should be like a trapeze artist or a tightrope walker.
Yeah. Let's talk about a little bit more about the Emperor.
Yeah.
I like that it's Vader's. He's the one that says, if he could be turned, he'd be a powerful ally.
Yeah.
And then that gets, the Emperor says,
"Can it be done?"
Yeah, can it be done? And then, if he can't, he'll die, basically. But I think that is the Emperor's plan all along. So I think this is showing us that the Emperor can manipulate Vader into thinking.
Oh yeah,
it's his idea.
I mean, the Emperor is the master manipulator. Yeah. I mean, he's the one that orchestrated Vader.
Yeah.
I mean, Vader is still a attack dog.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know it as much. I don't know if this is Lucas, but the Emperor was a senator. Yeah. So he's sort of saying politicians.
Yeah.
The better the politician,
I think so. I think that was part of because the original movie kind of loosely was part of Lucas's way of dealing with Vietnam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the prequels were his way of dealing with a little bit of 9/11 and George Bush and Cheney and stuff like that. So making Palpatine the twisted and corrupt politician was kind of his way of. I think he was likening him to Cheney more so than Bush, but.
Yeah, essentially this movie was set up for the next movie to come out, and probably would have pissed me off if I was.
That's what I was thinking earlier was,
It's 80 to, 83?
Yeah, 80, 83.
Wow. That's a hell of a gap to wait to hit a conclusion to this. Because it just ends with them looking at a picturesque galaxy, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, it's an iconic shot. I think it's a poster even, I'm sure.
Probably.
But, it sort of just ends rather abruptly.
It's like, what? Where the hell is, Han? And
the cliffhanger is almost too much of a cliffhanger. And probably annoyed a lot of people.
I gotta imagine, because I don't know, I've never experienced this movie without basically hitting stop, putting in Return of the Jedi, and then hitting play. I can't imagine this not being followed by...
Because at least in the first one, you got an end.
It definitely has, a satisfying
This
conclusion.
one doesn't really have a great end because one of your main characters
It's a middle chapter,
yeah. And that's kind of annoying. It's almost like having... The only thing I can compare it to is like the part 1 and 2 of Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that and there's another part that everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
I mean, at least how that one's ending, but I guess the closest thing is Back to the Future, where it says to be continued.
Yeah.
But even that has an ending.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was a ballsy move to just say, without saying it, this is the middle part of a story. It's there is no ending right here.
That, and they don't even pick up where that one left off. It's
like another year down the road. I think.
Luke's going through some training. Han's just chilling in a carbonite chamber.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny that Jabba just keeps him up
as a
trophy or
I love it.
exhibit. But it sort of just ends right there.
Yeah, Han's Lando's wearing Han's clothes and he's taking his car with his best friend.
Yep.
Son of a bitch, Lando.
Lando was just going to step in.
He's like a hermit crab. He's just taking over Han's old shell.
Nice. I like that. That is what he did. Yeah. All right. So, you want to go into pros, cons, or most heroic, or
Yeah, I mean, we could start with most heroic. Mine is Leia going back for Luke. Because it was definitely in the heat of, like, escape, you know?
Yeah.
Lando didn't want to go.
I think mine's Han going for Luke. Everyone's rescuing Luke.
Yeah, I mean, that's all.
And he's going out to certain death because, oddly, this is a weird scene that is like your tauntaun will freeze before you get there.
Yeah.
He's like, well, then I'll see you in hell.
Yeah.
If I was that guy, I'd be like, hey, what the hell?
Yeah.
I was just letting you know.
And that's, I wrote it down earlier, but that's our John Ratzenberger cameo for the movie.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I didn't even notice.
He's playing Major Bryn Derlin. He's one of my favorite, like, just side, like, back, extras, basically. No, that is a good moment.
A ballsy move.
On going after him, yeah.
Because, like, that whole thing takes a while. It's like, well, he may be in the south entrance. It's like, well, how about you go check?
Yeah. What do you mean nobody knows?
Well, maybe you just didn't check in.
Yeah.
Doubt it, douche. Where's he at? I'm going out there and I'll see you in hell.
I love that.
Like, he's really broken up about it. Like,
oh, yeah.
And he does a good job.
Yeah.
Cuts open a tauntaun in a gross way, stuffs him in.
Puts up a shelter and makes a fire, I think.
Friggin' full-on rescue.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's saving
Yeah, it's
Luke.
funny that both of them... I mean, and Luke does some heroic stuff, at least in the battle, you know.
Because he doesn't save his co-pilot, gets crushed by a...
He has the idea to wrap up the legs. It's Wedge that actually does the maneuver.
Well, I just meant like when it crashes and he doesn't save his...
He's already dead.
Oh, is he already dead?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he definitely makes an attempt
because he
to
tries
get the body out. But
Luke fails at everything.
He does. I mean, he gets attacked by the Wampa. He crash lands his snowspeeder.
It's like I said, he gets the shit kicked out of him in this movie.
Crash lands on Dagobah.
Yeah. He's the worst pilot ever.
He fails at every test that Yoda throws at him.
Yeah. Gets his hand cut off.
Yeah, fails with Vader. Yeah, loses. It's like in Clerks where he's like, Empire's had such a downer ending. You know, finds out Vader's his father, loses his hand.
His friend gets taken away.
Yeah.
He somehow realizes that Leia's his sister, maybe?
No, I don't think he doesn't have any suspicions.
No, not yet?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's like the bright positive part of this movie for Luke is, hey, I made out with this hot chick. He has no idea.
I thought maybe he realized when they connected in the Force, maybe.
Like Joe Dirt, I'm your sister.
I forgot Joe Dirt. That's villainous.
I mean, everything Vader does. I don't have one written down, but I mean, Vader is the only villain in this movie, really. We get a little Boba Fett, but there's nothing. He doesn't do anything.
I'll throw Lando in there.
Okay.
I mean, he's the one that freaking screws everyone over.
He betrays his friends.
That's a pretty low move.
But he's looking after this planet or city of people, and to him, he doesn't know who Luke Skywalker is. You know, he doesn't know what he's handing over in order to save his city. I mean,
which he doesn't even really do, other than telling everyone on an intercom to get out,
and then leaves.
Yeah, and then abandons himself. He's like, "You guys better get out of here because I'm abandoning this sinking ship."
This captain will desert the ship.
Yeah. He's just a slimy dude.
Yeah.
I got no respect for Lando.
That's fair. I've never been a huge Lando fan.
But yeah, everything that Vader does is pretty much awful.
Yeah.
But he's only being awful because he wants to be with his baby boy.
My baby boy abandoned my child. Yeah, you want to jump into pros and cons?
Sure. I mean, it sort of falls into the what doesn't hold up, and that's just the...
Oh, yeah.
The claymation stuff.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a weird thing. I don't know if somebody new would see it this way, but it's kind of nostalgic feel to me.
Yeah.
So it works, but maybe to somebody like, younger, like, oh, that's weak.
That's a good point. I think that I don't want to say our generation, but people our age, I think, would be willing to forgive any stop motion scenes. Like I watched Willow a couple months ago, and then like the monsters that they fight, like in the castle, are all stop motion, And to me, it was like it still looked great, But I could see that it was stop motion. I could see that it's dated, but still worked for me. But yeah, you sit someone born,
like a teenager,
they would probably look at that and be like, "This looks like crap,"
Yeah.
But it is,
the
a
fact
weird
that
generational thing
that
stop motion, claymation, whatever, I think doesn't take away from what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it, but I could see that, especially when you throw against all the computer graphics they've added in.
Yeah.
Where sometimes even the computer graphics look worse than the stop motion.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that doesn't hold up for me is the special edition added in scenes where the Falcon is flying into Cloud City. They added those few little moments of the Falcon flying around, and the city just looks so bad that it's hard not to see those as, it doesn't hold up, They did some more like special edition stuff where they'd put digital city skylines outside the windows in Cloud City, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, but it's the Falcon flying through Cloud City that looks so fake now. I don't mind that they went back in and digitally enhanced the Emperor, because before, if you've ever seen it before the special editions,
it's like an old lady or something.
It's a mixture. It's a guy performing, or maybe it's a guy's voice, with Rick Baker's wife. Rick Baker's like a legend in prosthetics and animatronics and makeup effects. It's like his wife wearing a mask and they superimposed chimpanzee eyes, so it looks really weird. So I'm all for the replacement of Revenge of the Sith era Emperor.
That makes sense. Yeah, there's just it's something that kind of takes me out of the movie still though.
Yeah,
the stop motion. I'm just like, hey, that's stop motion.
Yeah,
when it makes itself known is when it kind of doesn't work for me all the time.
Yeah.
I let it pass because it's kind of a nostalgia thing and it's still kind of cool to see, but the fact that I know that it's obvious, it's still kind of But, it was the time they were in. I mean, it was still good for what it was. Just when I can see that it's obvious, it kind of takes me out.
That's fair. My only con that I have is I think in this movie, Leia is a very poorly written character. She really has nothing to do. She gets rescued by Han, taken on the Falcon, basically just rides shotgun, or not even shotgun. She's like backseat most of the time in the Falcon. She doesn't do much of anything once they get to Cloud City.
Yeah, her big spot is at Hoth, where she's commanding people to leave and evacuate.
Yeah,
and...
I mean, and this is not to say anything about the performance, but they don't give the character much to do. Aside from at the very end, she stands up, and she is more integral in the kind of escape from Cloud City and
yeah, she's shooting stormtroopers and
so it's kind of like if you can take this character, if you remove her from this story, does much change? Probably not. So that to me is a poorly written character. It's not fair what they did with this character for Carrie Fisher or for the character herself.
Yeah. I mean, she does go back to save Luke.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's part of why that she was my hero moment. Because I'll transition into my pros. I think Carrie Fisher's performance is better than anyone's in this movie. She performs the hell out of Leia. Like just the acting alone is really, really good. And I'm not a Carrie Fisher fan. I'm not much of a Leia fan. But in this movie, she's fantastic. When given, I mean, even she's not given anything to do, but she still manages to just, the looks she gives and the line delivery and just everything totally work for me, for her.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can say is that she's kind of one-dimensional-ish with the way she interacts with Han, where it's like she's always being the same person, like
being snarky and sarcastic and
that, and she's obviously digging him, but she's constantly like, it's like her character's like, okay, you like him, but don't let him know.
Yeah.
And I can tell that, like, throughout, like, most of the movie, where she's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like you at all. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, are you a teenager, or are you a princess / general, whatever you are now?
Yeah.
Like, she's very childish in ways with Han.
Yeah.
Like, she's, I don't know, it always seems weird to me that she's so fake around him like that. Like, she's like, oh, he likes me, but I have to play like I don't like him.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Whereas I think she would have been a little more straightforward in reality.
Yeah.
She seems like a straightforward kind of person, but
for sure.
Either she doesn't realize she likes him, but that seems weird. I don't know. There's some weird dynamic between them that I just don't get.
Well, and that's like her main role in this movie is to be wishy-washy about a guy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not fair to the character.
Nah. But yeah, she did a good job. I mean, especially in the carbonite chamber scene.
Yeah.
I thought that was
and
best.
the when they close the doors on Hoth, when they have to close like the blast doors.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
They kind of zoom in on her when she's concerned about Han and Luke.
I think Chewie was better.
I do like the pair when they show her concern and then they shut the doors and Chewie just lets out that great roar. Like that's a great little moment for both of them. Yeah.
And I'd have to say my acting nod goes to Frank Oz and Yoda.
Yeah, he was my other
because I completely forget that it's a puppet.
Yeah, it's just basically a hand, underneath this,
Because I can see Yoda's disappointment.
I know it's a beautiful performance of Yoda,
and like you said earlier, with the transition from fake
crazy old
hermit to Jedi Master is like eerie.
Yeah,
and the fact that it's a puppet,
I know, and
portraying that.
The way they're able to move that puppet around, like when Yoda is kneeling and digging through Luke's like little storage box, it looks like a little thing on its knees digging through. Like I don't know how. I know part of it's
I always assumed that it was a small person in there.
They use
like when he's digging around,
right? I don't think it is.
Like, I never realized he was a puppet at all.
Okay. Oh,
like, when I was a kid.
You thought it was always a...
Because I'd always heard, like, R2-D2, there was somebody in there.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't there be somebody in Yoda?
I think he's even smaller than... Like, I don't...
Is he?
He's tiny.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's hard
Yoda
to...
is small.
He is small, but he doesn't seem like he's any smaller than the dude that was Mini-Me.
Maybe. I know that...
Vern Troyer?
Vern Troyer. Yeah. I know Deep Roy. He was the guy that's... He's the new Oompa Loompa... figure, he was in newer Star Trek movies under a lot of makeup, but he was in this, but he was like more of a Yoda stand-in, I think, probably for like lighting and stuff. And
I never realized how big Yoda is because I always picture him hunched over.
He's pretty small.
So I just thought somebody could hunch over as a small person and be that small, but maybe not.
I think it's all puppetry and...
But I think the fluid movement made me think it was a person.
Sure.
Like it couldn't be it couldn't
it's
be
definitely.
Like, you can tell Kermit is a puppet. Like his movements are puppet-like.
It's definitely not someone like wearing a Yoda mask and getting that much like movement. It's all just in the hands. And there's other people like it's not only Frank Oz.
Yeah,
it's like him doing the the hand stuff, and then I think someone's off like with wires doing the ear, like making the ears like bend and making the eyelids close.
Like they would have had animatronics, like motorized. Like somebody with a remote control with joysticks and stuff.
More crude. I mean, definitely more like,
It was more like Mythbusters style, like where it's big servos and it's not anything like today, but they still had those things that helped.
And it's pretty flawless. I mean, the performance of the Frank Oz, and he's doing the voice as well. I mean, he was my second like performance note alongside Carrie Fisher.
I'm surprised that I doubt any puppeteer has gotten like a acting award, but I think if anyone, that probably would have.
I know one. Kevin Clash was really big; like he was a big name. before
all the
and I always knew of Kevin Clash because he did Splinter in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I saw a documentary about him,
I never watched
the Elmo one.
Yeah,
before
the dark times,
the kid stuff happened.
Yeah,
or whatever. I don't even know what's going on with that anymore.
I don't know. I assume he's probably in jail. I don't know.
Well, it was kind of weird because the kid is older. Now. Like I don't know. Like I think it's still in trial. Like it hasn't come. I don't know. But
I don't know.
Weird shenanigans happen with like teenage. Kid.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean he's the only Frank Oz, Jim Henson, and Kevin Clash are the only puppeteers I think I really know.
Puppetry, yeah.
And then, well, I watched the Big Bird documentary too.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
I can't remember his name though.
Yeah, Lauren something.
Yeah, that was a cool documentary.
My only other pro is just the writing itself for the movie. You know, Leia notwithstanding.
Yeah.
The shift in tone from Star Wars to this, it's pretty jarring at first.
Well,
but
the first one's just go, go, go.
Yeah.
This one's a little more...
It's more grown up. It's more serious.
Well, there's training. There's...
Yeah.
Sort of the whole, like, escape is like a big portion of the movie.
Yeah. I
mean, it's slowed down. It's not like jumping from one point in time to another.
Yeah.
It's more like real time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's... Because for the first one, it's like Luke's like unaware, and he's chilling out with aunt and uncle, and then all of a sudden he's flying around in space with Luke or with Han and Chewie.
Yeah,
learning how to do the Force. They jump over to Ben dying right away. Then they jump on over to the rebellion. It's going like all over the place, and this is just escape from Hoth.
Yeah,
save Leia and Han from Cloud City and Darth. That's pretty much the movie.
Yeah.
And it just shows some training in between. So it's not as herky-jerky as far as what to do. It's sort of more built up, and you learn about characters a bit.
Right.
Like it's slowed down, I think.
Definitely.
But not so slow that it's boring.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of meaning earlier with, the slower, quieter moments that we get just while they're waiting inside the space slug. Like, they still allow those little quiet moments, and it doesn't feel like, oh, this thing's dragging on, So it's just such a well-made.
At the same point, it's still not a full movie.
Yeah,
and it loses some with me because of that. Because they don't. You can have something. I mean, it's just weird. I guess they do have an ending in the fact that Darth Vader's plan failed.
Sure.
But it's not a very fulfilling ending.
Yeah, but it's
and
like
it
even...
leaves so much open.
Yeah.
Because he's going to have to go back to train.
Sure.
And I guess it's sort of leading me down this weird rabbit hole where it's kind of weird that Luke didn't... Like, he easily went past the dark side.
Oh, okay.
Like, he didn't seem to struggle with light and dark. He was just light the whole time. Like, it didn't seem like he had any kind of like inkling of going to the dark
temptation
side.
Or anything like that. Yeah.
Like, I thought he would have been tempted more.
Okay.
I mean, he said, "Why didn't you tell me, Ben?"
Yeah.
And I guess that was that struggle, maybe. But he never seemed to want anything to do with the dark side. It just seemed too easy.
Yeah, I don't think that was a
like. I thought he would have had a harder time
in this one. Sure.
Based on Yoda and Obi-Wan's concern.
I could see their concern now that he's faced Vader and lost.
Mm-hmm.
There would be an easier temptation to go to the dark side because now he's going to be more angry at Obi-Wan, at Yoda, at Vader. Before he was just, he
was just worried.
Yeah, he was just a Jedi in training and had no
I'm sure he's angry at Vader because he thinks he killed his dad.
Sure.
But he didn't really know his dad, so...
Right. So it's kind of like, well...
It's an abstract.
Kind of mad, but it's not like weighing on him.
But I thought there would have been a lot more temptation for Luke than there seemed to be.
Yeah.
Because that seemed to be a big worry that Yoda had with him going off. And
yeah. I feel like that probably would have felt too forced or too much too soon. Like, there's not enough time to go into tempting Luke to the dark side.
I mean, I know it crops up a little bit.
A little bit in the next one.
In the next one, but I mean, at no point do I ever feel like he's tempted at all. Like,
not in this.
Like
no.
Anakin was.
Sure.
But that one was more dragged out.
Yeah. It was a slow build.
This one, that's why I don't understand the plan.
Okay.
I guess the plan was to get him captured.
Yes.
And then work their magic on him.
Exactly.
And they didn't get to do that.
I think Vader's plan was capture him, take him to the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And once the Emperor has him, he's done. You know? I think that was basically the whole goal.
So I guess that was maybe their fear is capture.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Vader being able to turn him.
Yeah. I don't think Vader had enough juice to pull him over to the dark side.
Yeah. The trump card of
he tried to throw out the join me and his father and son will rule the galaxy or whatever, but that wasn't.
And saying that Obi-Wan lied. And,
well,
implying that he lied.
Yeah.
So that, they have something to hide as well.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. But, I guess that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
He was just confused and was like, I can't handle it. I'm jumping down this hole.
Yeah. I'm overwhelmed.
My hand hurts.
Yeah. I love that meme when Rey shows up on the planet, confronts Luke, and hands him the light, or shows him the lightsaber. He's like, "There was a hand. Did you find the hand?"
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too good.
Mm-hmm. I imagine it's just sitting at the very bottom of that pit. There's like a little filter, a little, like your air duct filter, and it's just, there's a hand there. There's a couple, there's someone's hat, a lightsaber, some general
gum.
trash, gum wrappers, and then
Luke's hand.
So just scrape out the filter.
Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't become an artifact like Darth's helmet.
Yeah, well, I mean, it kind of did.
I have the hand of Luke Skywalker.
Well, in the expanded universe, there was some story that they did get the hand, and they made an evil Luke clone.
Nice.
Based off of the hand. They
geez.
Got the DNA from the hand, and
it's so ridiculous.
Grew a dark, evil version of Luke or something like that.
With a goatee.
Yeah, that's probably who Snoke is. He's probably the cloned evil version of Luke. All twisted and evil.
Nice. Okay, so you want to do ratings?
Yeah. I can only give this thing a 5. It's still as enjoyable. I was worried. I was a little nervous about going into it critically, but it still holds up. It's still... Yeah, I wish they would have given Leia something to do, but... There were just huge chunks of this where I just got sucked in. I had to go back, rewind, just to take notes and just to rewatch a scene because it's like, oh, I've been watching it for 5 minutes and I haven't written anything down. It's so easy to just. This movie is just so damn watchable, and this was never my favorite as a kid. I loved Star Wars, and then
Return.
I don't think I ever as a kid was like, oh, Return's my favorite because it's got, I don't think I do like a lot of Return.
Yeah.
We'll get there. But I think it's still, my ranking is still Star Wars, then Empire, and now Force Awakens, and then Revenge of the Sith, and then Jedi, and Phantom Menace, and then Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones.
Gotcha.
So it's still, for me, number 2. I can pop in Star Wars a lot, on pretty much any given time, because I think, like you said, it is more of a complete story. It's easier to just sit down and watch. I never want to just pop in Empire because I'd rather watch Star Wars first, and then watch Empire.
See, and that's my problem with Empire, is that it's not a complete movie, and even the completeness of that episode is kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
it's a lot of training and prepping and failure and. Not a whole lot of reward.
I think it's probably the perfect or the best follow-up or sequel to a movie ever.
It literally is a middle trilogy movie.
Yeah.
It's just weird thinking of it as a standalone.
Yes.
And that's where I have my problem with it, is that it's a bummer of a standalone movie.
Yeah.
So, I'm giving it a 4.5 because of that. it just doesn't have like I can't just watch that and watch that alone.
Yeah.
Like it's just like ugh, all that and this is what we get. Like it's bumming me out still. That's what I was talking about earlier. Is that I'm just bummed out right now. Like I'm like all that work.
Yeah.
Flipping in the swamp and for what? I lose my freaking hand. And my friend gets taken away.
Yeah.
And then I find out my dad is a total douche.
Dad. That's funny.
So it's just a bum out movie.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard and he fails miserably at everything.
I've never noticed until watching it for this how much Luke fails. I've never like added it up before.
Oof.
And like everything, just every moment Luke just fails.
Like he's just beaten and battered, and I guess that's building his character to what he is in Jedi.
And it kind of
for the new one,
and it also kind of adds to like he had no hope of defeating Vader in this. He just wasn't ready, And we're shown that time and time again. Like he had no chance,
Yeah.
So
it's just like you were saying, like it's a fine movie, but it's as a standalone, I couldn't.
Sure.
Just only watch that.
Yeah. Like I said, I have this weird compulsion to complete things as far as like, sets. I don't want to just watch this one. If I want to watch Star Wars and then I'll watch this and then I've got to watch Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Same with like I can't watch The Matrix because then after I watch The Matrix, I have to watch.
Oh, I can easily not watch the sequels for The Matrix.
Because every time I watch The Matrix, and I haven't for a long time, but when I do, it's like, man, that ending is really good. And I think parts of the second one are pretty good. So let me pop it in, and then I just get down the rabbit hole of like finishing, this journey.
I'm well aware of how horrible the sequels are to The Matrix.
So that's kind of how I am with this. Like if I want to watch Star Wars, I have to start with Star Wars, and I've got to go till I'm done with Jedi. So
see, I'll put Force Awakens before this.
It's oddly though, I can just watch.
I can just watch Force Awakens like crazy.
Yeah, it is really good. But I can watch Return of the Sith as the prequels go. I can just watch that one as a standalone.
Okay, yeah.
I love
the first
that movie.
one's ridiculous.
I don't have.
It's just
too many problems with the first one.
It's not very exciting to me.
I don't care for Attack of the Clones
movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie to me, really.
Okay.
I mean, other than
they're different,
what's his face? Darth Maul.
Yeah, I love Maul.
I mean, that's a cool character.
Yeah, underused like Boba Fett, or teased and then not used like Phasma in Force Awakens. Like she was in the marketing, I think, built up to be this. She's the new, I don't know.
I mean, I understood the first 2 episodes that he did recently were meant to give more background and story, but I think it was better suited for like a TV environment and not necessarily a motion picture.
Okay.
Because they covered too much information.
Yeah.
And spent way too much time on it, where it would have been better suited for like a TV series, like a Netflix series or something.
Yeah.
Because he's cramming all of this story into a 2-hour plus block of time. And I think that's what I don't like about the new ones, is that it wastes so much time with story, where movies aren't really meant for story like as much. Like with a movie like this, I get it for like a drama or a legal thriller or something maybe,
adventure.
But not a space movie.
Yeah.
Like there was just so much spent on like the Senate and like the inner workings of the government, where I didn't give a shit.
Sure. What does that have to do with Jedi? Yeah.
Like I'm not here to watch legal proceedings or government proceedings or whatever. I think it would have better been suited for like a series or like because that's a lot of information to try to cram in to a 2.5-hour movie or whatever it was, 3 hour.
I can kind of see what you mean.
Because I get what he's trying to do, but I just don't think it.
Yeah,
and I don't understand.
Overall,
I don't understand how kids like those movies. Honestly, like it seems way too slow for a kid to be into.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I've heard like younger kids love it.
Yeah,
but I think the Clone Wars animated series was 1,000 times better than the movies.
Yeah, I really dug Clone Wars.
I haven't seen the new one.
Rebels.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of Rebels either.
Yeah.
But that storyline that they wrapped up Ahsoka with in Clone Wars was really good.
I mean,
that were framed for whatever. Yeah.
Anywho, I got off on the tangent on how much
fine.
I get worked up about the newer ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 4.75. I mean, Empire.
I think we liked the first one better.
Yeah, you gave you gave Star Wars a 4.5.
Okay,
and then Rory and I both gave it 5, so it was like a 4.8333.
Oh yeah, the only 5 we've given is for Raiders, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. So
crap,
this one
we talked about that.
Shit. Spoilers. I'll bleep it out. It's fine. Yeah, I mean it's bound to happen when we break. We've jumped around in the timeline as far as our recording has gone.
Yeah,
so.
And I know we haven't released it yet.
That's funny.
Sneak peek.
That's a bigger spoiler than
Darth Vader.
Vader being.
Although I do like the there's a scene in Pitch Perfect.
Okay. Oh yeah.
She's like, Vader means father in German.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, that's.
I think that's
pretty much
it for Empire. I mean, yeah. What else can you say? It's still a fantastic movie.
All right. Well, next we have an even better film.
Flash.
Save every one of us. Murder. The Queen music video.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah. Yes.
Prepare
that
to
should
not
be fun.
get that out of your head for a solid month.
Yeah.
And now it's back. Thanks a lot.
At this point, I've never seen Flash Gordon, so should be interesting.
I think I'll love it.
I'm sure
I think it's going to surpass.
Fantastic time.
Oh, did I say Raiders? I meant Flash Gordon was my first
that's
5.
the one you gave a 5 to. That's right.
But yeah, we'll be back with some Flash Gordon.
Yeah, in 2 weeks we will be talking all things Flash Gordon. Got anything else?
No,
I guess check us out online, realpodcastnetwork.com/realcomicheroes, or just Facebook at Real Comic Heroes and Twitter at Real Comic Heroes. It's pretty easy to find us online. So
yeah. Until then, I guess see you in the next adventure.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia.
Clytus, I'm bored. What plaything can you offer me today?
An obscure body in the SK system, Your Majesty. The inhabitants refer to it as the planet Earth.
I like to play with things a while before annihilation.
Pathetic Earthlings! Who can save you now?
Savior of the universe! Strange object imaged in the Imperial vortex.
Remove the Earthwoman. Prepare her for our pleasure.